Hey guys, Mona Lisa here, and I'm going to be reacting to Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 6. The main things I took out of the last episode is that obviously Jorah now has grayscale, which I'm not happy about, but I'm hoping there's some sort of a cure for it, like with the dragons where they are and that. So I hope this is not going to be the way he's going to die. That would really suck. And Jon is going to sort of be working with Tormund to get the wildlings on his side. So they're going to go up and get the wildlings. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. And yeah, Brienne is outside Winterfell and ready to help Sansa. So that's quite interesting. And Dany is going to be marrying his star. I can't say his name, but I don't get that. But yeah. I can sort of see why, because it's like he's an important figure in the city. So if she marries him, she'll get people on her side. But we'll see what happens there. Yeah. My whiteboard. The only one who's changed on there is Jorah. He's gone up again. Obviously he did save Tyrion, but again, if he hadn't kidnapped him, he wouldn't have to save him. But I see where Jorah's coming from. He's one of my heroes, so yeah, I'm letting him get away with it. As per usual, guys, no spoilers, please. No referring to the books or the lore or the history of the characters and that. And I think, guys, that being said, let's get started.
So, those villages we were supposed to find. We can't live on berries and roots.
I can.
You're an awful traveling companion, do you know that? Possibly the least charming man I've ever met.
I'm not your traveling companion.
We are traveling together, in each other's company, therefore...
Trevor, shut up.
I sailed from King's Landing to Pentos in a crate, without ever saying a word.
I killed my father. He wanted to execute me for a crime I didn't commit. And he was fucking the woman I loved. As miserable as you are, Mormont, at least your father was a good man.
What do you know about my father?
I met him. I visited the wall. He actually cared about the people under his command. How do they put it in the watch? We shall never see his like again. Oh. You didn't know. I'm sorry. I am.
How?
Yeah.
He was leading an expedition beyond the wall. There was a mutiny. He was murdered by his own men.
We better keep moving.
Valamagulis.
Valadaris.
I have nowhere else to go. I've taken her to every healer in Bravos. She suffers every day of her life. I just want it to end.
Oh, is she gonna try to?
It hurts. I know. Don't be afraid.
So she's becoming one
I've
of them.
devoted my life to him now. You don't want to hurt anymore. Drink.
I still don't understand it, but I suppose it's one of those that it's gonna be like a shock or something when we find out what actually goes on. Oh, what the hell? They just decapitated people.
No. That girl is not ready to become no one. But she's ready to become someone else.
It's a slave ship.
Why are they anchored?
They probably came ashore.
Water. Cut his throat,
Wait! Let's discuss this!
and then chop off his cock. We'll sell it for a fortune. The dwarf's cock has magic powers.
Wait, you can't just hand a dried cock to a merchant and expect him to pay for it. He has to know it came from a dwarf. And how could he know? Unless he sees the dwarf.
It will be a dwarf-sized cock.
Guess again.
Queen Daenerys has outlawed slavery.
We're bound for Volantis, not Slaver's Bay. Besides, she reopened the fighting pits. I've never heard of free men fighting in the pits. You've got to be 60 years old.
Oh, sure, he's a bit long in the tooth, a bit withered. Been in the sun too long. We can all see that. But he is a veteran of 100 battles. They wrote songs about him.
Is he the guy from Lost?
That true?
He won the tournament at Lannisport, unseating Sir Jaime Lannister himself.
The men who fight in the pits of Marine will swallow him whole.
I killed a Dothraki blood rider in single combat.
Liar.
It's no lie. His name was Quotho. He was blood rider to Khal Drogo. Take me to Slaver's Bay, put a sword in my hand. I'll prove my worth.
I'm here on urgent business.
Oh, of
for the
course,
Queen,
he's
Mother.
owning
Should I
a
send word
brothel,
that I'll be
isn't
delayed?
he? And that's not acceptable.
Do you think it's wise, Your Grace, arresting the heir to Highgarden?
The Faith arrested the heir to Highgarden.
Of course. And the Faith were armed on your orders.
The King's orders. Is the King to blame for Sir Loras's perversion?
House Tyrell won't tolerate this insult.
House Tyrell won't tolerate it. I'm the insulted party, Lord Baelish. Sir Loras was promised to me. Instead, he chose the company of boys.
You once charged me with finding Arya Stark. To my shame, I failed you. But I have found Sansa Stark. Alive and well, and home again. Living at Winterfell.
That's not possible.
They tell me Roose Bolton plans to marry her to his son, Ramsay. A bastard recently legitimized by King Tommen.
Roose Bolton is Warden of the North by the grace of my father.
Indeed. His reward for stabbing his own king in the heart.
I will skin him and his bastard like that wretch on their bloody sigil.
I would counsel patience, Your Grace.
Patience! Sansa helped murder my son. Roose Bolton is a traitor.
Stannis Baratheon was also a traitor, marching with his army on Winterfell. Let Stannis and Roose battle. Let the enemies of the throne slaughter each other, and when they're done, seize Winterfell from whichever thief survives. The Knights of the Vale are some of the best fighters in Westeros, trained to battle in the ice and the snow.
Forgive me, Lord Baelish. You have a reputation as a moneylender and a brothel keeper, not a military man.
You wouldn't risk a single Lannister soldier, or a single coin from the royal treasury. What do you have to lose? A brothel keeper?
And if you succeed?
Name me Warden of the North. I'll not rest until the lion flies over Winterfell.
And I'll know you're a man of your word when I see Sansa Stark's head on a spike.
As I said,
Yeah, it's not gonna.
I live to serve.
It's so complicated, his stories. It's like really hard to work out what his actual purpose is. Oh,
You
here we
smell
go.
the shit from 5 miles away. Well, why have we stopped? Go on! If they arrested all the pillow biters in King's Landing, there'd be no room left in the dungeons for anyone else.
Everyone knew about him and Renly.
Renly Baratheon shagged half the stable boys in the Seven Kingdoms. Everyone knew. No one cared.
He was the king's brother.
And Loras is the Queen's brother. Get some rest, dear. You look appalling. And let me deal with Cersei Lannister. Put the pen down, dear. We both know you're not writing anything.
Ah, yes, the famously tart-tongued Queen of Thorns.
And the famous tart, Queen Cersei.
Pardon?
I know you're behind this absurd incarceration of my grandson.
If you apologize for that comment, perhaps
You'll get your apology. When I get Loras.
Our alliance with House Tyrell remains...
Do you expect the alliance to continue after you've thrown our future into prison? I didn't trust your father. I didn't particularly like him. But I respected him. He was no fool. He understood that sometimes we must work with our rivals rather than destroy them.
House Lannister has no rival. It's not a trial. Just a small hearing to determine whether the charges against Loras have merit, which I'm sure they don't. Loras will be freed. Our happy alliance will continue.
Don't mess with Alana. He's been around a lot longer than you.
I was wrong to support Renly's claim. I know that. But I was forgiven by Joffrey. I fought for him at the Battle of Blackwater.
Wearing Renly's armor. You never lay with Renly Baratheon.
Never.
Nor any other man.
Never.
Well, I think that's quite enough of that.
The faith calls Queen Margaery forward.
Someone needs to grow up here, seriously.
Queen Margaery, in the presence of the gods, do you swear that your brother is innocent of these charges against him? To the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I swear it.
Thank you, Your Grace. Do you know this man?
Yes. Very well. He is Sir Loras Tyrell, heir to Highgarden. We engaged in intimate relations.
You lay with him?
That night and many others.
Liar. He's a liar.
Is there anyone else who can support your claim?
Yes. Yes, Queen Margaery. She walked in on us once, not long ago. She didn't seem surprised.
This testimony is an insult to a great house. Why should the faith or anyone else take the word of a squire over the heir to Highgarden?
Oh, you're such a bitch.
What are you doing? Let us pass.
The faith is satisfied there is enough evidence to bring a formal trial for Sir Loras and Queen Margaery.
Oh, fuck.
Tommen! Tommen! You can't do this. I am the queen. Tommen! Tommen! I am your queen. How dare you? Take your hands off me. Ah!
I've come to escort you to the Godswood, milady. If you please, milady, will you take my arm?
No.
Lord Ramsay, he said I'm to take your arm.
I'm not touching you.
Please. He'll punish me.
You think I care what he does to you?
Yeah, I think you do. I think that's going to push him to actually tell her that he didn't kill her brothers. Wonder what would happen if Sansa was to say no, if the North is strong enough to protect her.
Who comes before the old gods this night?
Sansa of the House Stark comes here to be wed. A woman grown, true-born and noble. She comes to beg the blessings of the gods. Who gives her? Theon of House Greyjoy. Who was it? Who was her father's ward?
Lady Sansa, will you take this man?
I take this man.
Are you pleased, my lady? Good. I want you to be happy. Why are you still a virgin? Afraid of dwarves?
Lord Tyrion was kind. He was gentle. He never touched me.
You're not lying to me.
No, my lord.
Lying to your husband on his wedding night. That would be a bad way to start a marriage. Take off your clothes. Oh, no, no, no. You stay here, Reek. You watch.
Come on, snap out of it, man.
I told you to watch. You've known Sansa since she was a girl. Now watch her become a woman.
I'm sure, well, Theon is gonna snap out. Oh, you fucking cunt. I thought he was going to snap out of it and kill the bastard. Obviously not. Well, still time, isn't there? But okay, so that was episode 6 of season 5. Yeah, no lies, this was definitely a tough episode to watch. I didn't like the ending, but yeah, let's go through it. So I started off with Arya washing the dead bodies. I don't know if she's like embalming them or no. I don't think no, that's not embalming. She's just washing them. And you know, she was challenging the girl like, you know, I'm ready. Tell me, you know, this. And yeah, she's not ready because you can't tell the difference between a lie and what's not a lie. And then obviously Jaqen came and challenged her with who she was and basically wanted her to lie, and she couldn't, and well, she wouldn't, and he was sort of beating her, and yeah, I obviously didn't like that at all. So it's all like she's not ready, is she? She can let go of who she is, which I don't think she should either. And we sort of went over to Tyrion and Jorah, sort of having a conversation, and Tyrion, as usual, getting on people's nerves. And I think it was quite a good scene because I think both Jorah and Tyrion, I think they're similar in some ways. Obviously, Jorah is a lot calmer than Tyrion, but I think sort of they know a lot of things about a lot of things, so you know, they know life, and yeah, I thought that was quite good. And it sort of turned out that obviously Tyrion was aware that Jorah's father died, and he was telling him how he died, and you know, sorry, and it's a bit of a blow for Jorah, isn't it? Because I think he always wanted his father's approval, and he obviously never got it. But you know, it's losing a parent is never a good thing, is it? It is gonna play with you, isn't it? So yeah. And then we went over to Arya when this father came with a little girl, and he just basically wanted he didn't want that girl to suffer anymore. So Arya, you know, she was the only one there, and yeah, she basically lied to the girl, saying her father brought her there and he helped her, and yeah, and obviously Jaqen was there in the background listening to it. So yeah, after the he basically shot her down to this underground chamber type thing, whatever it was, with all these heads. So it's obviously they must decapitate these people who die and then put their heads in these, like, whatever it is they put them in, and I think they're sort of by magic or something using these heads as the, I mean, obviously they're faceless, so they could change into these people. And I would imagine that Jaqen is probably not, that's not his real face. His face is in there somewhere, and it's a face he's using. So I think the real Jaqen, we don't know what he looks like. The face Jaqen is a face that he's taken on. It's so weird. Like, I don't even know. So I think he was sort of asking Arya if she was ready. So I don't know if they're gonna kill Arya and then have her head on there, and then she becomes the face. I don't know. Obviously, don't tell me because it'd be a spoiler, but it's very confusing. I don't really know what is going on, but yeah, obviously hope that she's not gonna die. Well, she's not gonna die. She's Arya. But yeah, it's a very weird thing with all these heads and that. So yeah, I don't know. We'll find out what happens, but it's a very strange storyline, I think. Then we went back to Tyrion and Jorah, and yeah, they got captured by these. What were they now? I can't remember what they were. But yeah, they got captured and they wanted to kill Tyrion, and obviously Tyrion, as per usually, came up with this kind of story that you know, Jorah is a fighter, and well, they wanted to kill Tyrion because he was a dwarf and they could get money off it or something like that. And yeah, Tyrion was like, oh well, Jorah, you know, he's a fighter, he's well known and all that. So in the end, with the lies, they got out of it. And yeah, so they're going to be taken to wherever these guys came from, and I think Jorah's going to fight. But obviously they were sort of hitting Jorah, so with him having the the grayscale, they're going to get the grayscale, aren't they? So I'm sort of in my head thinking that with Jorah having the grayscale, I don't think he's gonna die. He's gonna become like one of those stone men or whatever. So I'm wondering he could be like become a leader of these things and whatever, and he could then become part of an army for Daniel with the like stone people. That would be awesome. very strange, but that would be kind of cool if that was the way he could prove herself to her that he's worthy of her, and yeah, having this army that would fight for her. But we'll see what happens. I don't think it would, but it would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So yeah, they're going to be taken to this city, and yeah, Jorah's going to have to fight. So yeah, we then saw Littlefinger arrive at King's Landing, and he was sort of talking to Lancel, and yeah, obviously Lancel, he's in this cult thing, whatever it is. It's I think it's a stupid storyline. I don't quite get it, but yeah, obviously Littlefinger owns the brothel, and that's not a thing for this cult. I call it a cult because I can't see what else it is. That's how it comes across. I mean, you don't put something in your forehead just for the hell of it. That's not normal. So yeah, but Littlefinger went to see Cersei, and they were talking. And I just don't know. I don't know what Littlefinger's game plan is anymore. I mean, he's told so many stories now that I don't know I don't know what's going on. But obviously, he wants Stannis to fight the Boltons, so that's sort of out of the way, and then he will have the Vale fight the Boltons after, or whoever is left at Winterfell afterwards. Well, that's what he's saying to Cersei, but I seriously doubt that's what he's gonna do. I don't know what his plan is here, but it's getting very confusing because obviously he's playing everybody, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah. So then we went to Dorne, and we saw Marcella and the boy, the prince, and she's obviously falling in love with this guy, and yeah. No, I think was it we saw obviously Jaime and Bronn on their way to Dorne. No, they are in Dorne. It's the I can't remember what the place called now, but yeah. So they met up with some people, and they got into Dorne, and then obviously we saw Marcella kissing this boy, and she's quite smitten with. I think she's in love with him, and obviously Jaime and. Well, Jaime wants to save her, he wants to get her out of there, but she's like, well, she loves this kid, so obviously she doesn't. And then, what is her name now? Sand. I'm just going to call her Sand because it's Ilan. I can't remember now. But obviously she wants to. She wants Marcella, doesn't she? She wants to kill her, I think, and it became a bit of a fight, didn't it? Because obviously Jaime, he's not going to let these girls kill his daughter. So yeah, yeah, they sort of got out of it in the end because the soldiers came and yeah, sort of saved Marcella. But doing that. Obviously captured Jaime and Bronn and the girls, and then Ilyana. I don't get the point of her storyline. Obviously she wants revenge, but I don't quite get. There's a few things in this season I'm not quite understanding, or seeing the point of. But I'm sure at some point it's going to be made more clear or made more sense, or maybe it's just one of those things. I don't know. But yeah. So we went back to King's Landing, and we had Loras's hearing, and it sounded like he sort of got away with it, but then they questioned the Queen, and she sort of got away with it, and Tommen is just sitting there like a little puppet. Yeah, he's far too weak, isn't he? And well, I think Cersei is far too powerful, isn't she? Far too manipulative and too dangerous. So yeah, and it seems like Loras and the Queen got away with it. Marcella no, it's not Marcel. Oh my God, Marjorie. I'm getting all the M's confused now. But yeah, obviously Marjorie and Loras, it sort of sound like they got away with it until they got the old squire. Yeah, he could sort of prove that Loras had this sort of birthmark, and that was sort of the end of that. So now it's going to be a trial both for Loras and for Marjorie, because Marjorie lied on behalf of Loras. I don't think Olana's gonna. She's not gonna let this happen, and I think now is the time for Tommen to show who he is and protect his wife from his crazy mother. So I'm hoping in the sort of episodes to come that he's gonna man up and put his mom in his place and get rid of these sparrows. Yeah, yeah. I think now is the time to have Tommen show who he is and to show that he is the king and he can make decisions. It's a difficult position he's in, but yeah, now is the time to sort of man up. Then we went to Winterfell and Ramsay's girlfriend there, bathing Sansa, and she's sort of trying to get into Sansa's head, but Sansa is like, I think Sansa worked out who she was, and this girl is in love with Ramsay. It's pretty obvious, isn't it, that she was jealous. So sort of like Sansa got the upper hand in that one. So yeah, then Theon came to obviously walk Sansa to the Weirwoods, was it? I can't remember if that was where the weir trees are. And he wanted, Sansa to take his arm, but she wasn't having it. She can't forgive him. I really thought that Theon was going to tell her, I didn't kill your brothers, I had to tell the story type of thing, and that they were going to team up that way. But I think they still are, but obviously it didn't happen here. So they went to the wedding. And I thought Sansa was going to be strong enough to say, no, I'm not going to marry you. I thought somehow she's going to set the fire and get Brienne there, and yeah, it was going to save her, but obviously it didn't. And then we went to her, well, I don't know if that was Ramsay's bedroom or her own bedroom. She was having to do what she was having to do because it was the wedding night, and Ramsay is such a bastard. Yeah, I do apologize for my language in that episode, but yeah, there's certain things that I won't stand for, and Ramsay's treatment of Sansa is definitely one of them. And yeah, I really thought that Theon having to stay there, he was gonna attack Ramsay. I thought he was gonna slit his throat or something and save Sansa from, having to go through with the wedding night, but. I mean, it ended there. It still could happen in the beginning of the next episode. I don't know, but I hope so. I hope they're gonna get rid of Ramsay and the Boltons somehow. Yeah, I think if Sansa sort of forgives Theon, they could team up and then team up with Brienne as well, and then North and get rid of these Bolton somehow. But yeah, there was this episode. There was a lot of things happening in this episode, and I'm not quite sure where we're going in this season. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, my top 5 is number 1 is Sansa. She's a really clever kid. No, she's a young woman, isn't she? She worked out that Ramsay's girlfriend, she was jealous and she was a girlfriend, and she got some information out of her, obviously. And again, I feel really bad for Sansa. She's in a sticky situation again. This is like the 3rd marriage she's having to do. Yeah. Yeah, she's my number 1. Number 2 is Tyrion. Again, he can just talk his way out of any sort of situation, and yeah, I think he talked Jorah and himself out of getting killed. So yeah, he's a pretty clever guy. So yeah, he's my number 2. Number 3 is Jorah. I just love this guy, and obviously he's sort of forming a bond with Tyrion now, which I quite like. So yeah, I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. I can't remember if they said in earlier episodes that people died from having grayscale, but then again, you saw these guys like the Stone Men. So yeah, I really would like to see if like Jorah would be able to form an army from these people with grayscale and the Stone Men and that, and then fight for Dany somehow. I'd really love to see that, but that's like just a sort of thing, whatever. Yeah, so Jorah is my number 3, and number 4 is Lena. I just love her every time you see her. You know, she's always. I think she is one step ahead of Cersei somehow. I think she's got something up her sleeve, and I mean, she's teamed up with Littlefinger before, so I don't think she would just go to King's Landing empty-handed, not knowing not having a game plan. I don't believe that. So I'm pretty sure she's got a game plan, and she's gonna put Cersei in her place. I'd love to see that, but yeah, I just love Olenna, you know. So yeah, she's my number 4. Number 5 is Arya. I don't understand the Arya like storyline. I thought at the end of last season it was going to be really interesting to see, you know, what's going to happen there, but I think it's just getting really weird. But I really liked Arya in this episode, sort of trying to get away from. No, I'll say that for the title. But yeah, Arya's my number 5. So yeah, my bottom 5. Number 1 is Ramsay. It's just the way he's treating Sansa on the wedding night, and that I'm not having it. It's disgraceful, and that's why I put him ahead of Cersei. I mean, Cersei, I think, in a way, was worse in this episode, but because of how Ramsay forced himself on Sansa. No, I'm not having that. So yeah, he's my number 1. Number 2 is Cersei. Again, she's so driven by hate that what am I trying to say? Yeah, she's so driven by hate that she'll put her whole family, because obviously the Martells, not Martells, oh my god, Olenna's gang, the Tyrells, they're quite powerful, aren't they? And Cersei is willing to just go up against that just to get revenge, and I don't think that's a very clever thing to do, because I think now that Tywin is gone, I think the Tyrells are more powerful than her. So yeah, I think she's played this really stupidly, and yeah, she's just a bitch. So yeah, she's my number 2. And number 3 is Littlefinger. Again, I don't know what he's up to. I don't understand what I just don't know, and it's unsettling. But yeah, he's a great villain. Don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the greatest characters in this show. But you know, when it comes to top and bottom, you know, he's a villain, and that's why he's on the bottom. Number 4 is Jaqen. He's always been a weird guy, but I just don't get it. I don't get the whole. Yeah, because obviously I think Arya wanted to go there, wanted to go to Braavos because of her dance master. He sort of made Braavos look like it was sort of like it was romanticized, wasn't it? And I thought that's what, you know, the people from Braavos, they were like that. But I think how the Jaqen Braavos, I don't like it at all, and I don't like him. I don't know what he is doing, and I don't feel safe with that sort of storyline. So yeah, he's my number 4. I hope you sort of understand what I'm trying to say, because it's really hard to explain how I feel about these people. Yeah. So yeah, my number 5 is Tommen. I know he's a young kid, he's a young guy, and yeah, his mom is a very powerful woman, isn't he? But he seriously needs to step up and protect his wife from his mom. I hope he's gonna do that. I hope he's gonna, yeah, grow a pair and tell his mom, you know, no, enough is enough. You're out. Go back to yeah, your home kind of thing. Yeah, so yeah, Tommen is my number 5. He's weak, and yeah, he needs to step up now. He needs to show he's a king. So yeah, they were my top and bottom 5. The title is Unbowed, Unbent, and Unbroken. So I looked up Unbowed, and it says not having submitted to pressure, demands, and unbroken can be not broken, not damaged, not intact. I sort of see the title as being the sort of the not downfall, but I think the 2 Stark girls, their strength is being tested now, and it's I think their innocence is they're losing that. Sansa, because of obviously what's happening on her wedding night, her innocence is being stolen, isn't it? And I think that's like breaking her. So all these things they were before, like they were, their strength, and that is sort of being broken, I think. I think the title, the whole on thing, is what they were before, and now that is being, yeah, that's they're losing that now in this episode. I think Sansa, because of her, you know, her innocence, and I think the same for Arya, her innocence in a different way, her being the Stark, and now changing over to being a nobody. That's how they're changing it. And I think on the other way, the Unbroken, Unbent, and that, I think is the 2 the stronger women, Olenna and Cersei. Yeah, I know it's really hard to explain, but that's sort of kind of how I see it, that the younger girls are losing those things, and the older women are keeping it, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's very hard to sort of describe the title, but yeah, if you know what it actually means or can explain it better, please do. So yeah, I think this was a pretty bad review. I'm just a bit shaken with what is happening now, especially to Sansa. It makes me so sick. So yeah, I think I'm just going to stop here, guys. But I want to thank you guys for, you know, sticking with me. I know my reactions aren't on time at the moment, but obviously I'm still looking for a job, and I've had an interview and that, but we'll see how it goes. But I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you next episode.